Oh no.
Yeah, we have a little light down here that should show us. Hey, there we go.
Oh
So
no.
it is a green light. We should be
Why can't
live.
they see us?
Because I haven't switched to that scene yet. I guess we
Oh
can just do it
no.
that way. Oh no, that's them.
Oh no.
Here we are. Hey, everyone.
I need to refresh this so I can get this up here.
Okay.
All
You
right.
should be able to see us this way. Hopefully we're coming through loud and clear.
Does it come up on here
I don't.
automatically?
I think you have to go to videos or go to.
I'm glad you could be with us during all this trial and error
Uh,
on our very first Conscious Connection cast. We're actually coming from a radio show over on Blog Talk Radio, where go check it out, where Relationship Reinvented had a radio show on there, and it's we haven't done that in a while, so we're
awesome.
coming here. But I don't see us.
We're in there. Everybody
And
can see us. Let's see if.
Can you guys see us?
No, they're saying they can't hear us.
And
So
can you hear us?
they cannot hear us, is what they're saying. So let's see if I can fix that. It looks like we've got sound that should be coming through.
Let's see. Let me ask our sound guy if you can hear us. Our sound guy is 12. Can you hear us in there on the phone or in there our voices? Okay. Well, they say they can hear us.
Yeah, that's what they're
Oh,
saying.
okay.
See
Okay.
if I can find it.
Can you hear Lee?
How about there? That's
Yeah,
probably
because Lee
better.
wasn't talking into the microphone.
How about now? Can you guys hear me?
Just give us a yay. Yay.
Yay.
Something.
Awesome.
All
I
right.
see you. Okay.
I'm looking for this. Oh, we don't need it. You got it up.
Yeah. Well, I've got it up in the background, so good,
Okay.
good. I'm glad you guys can hear us. So, welcome to our first podcast. This is going to be fun, awesome. And I believe if you're on Patreon, I think you can go on over there, and I think you even have a phone number to call us if you want to talk to us. We're going to have some
Yeah.
fun, though. We're going to sit and take questions and have some fun.
I don't know
get
how
some-
we're going to do this phone thing because we're just getting things
The volume is really low on your
hooked
side.
up. And on whose side? Lee's side?
Yeah, can you turn up my volume
I
on
mean,
my
I
microphone?
can,
Let's
but
see if you
that's-
can. I think you did it. Yeah, that probably makes it a lot
How about
easier
that?
for them to hear me. Can you hear me now?
Talk into the mic, Lee.
I'm into the mic. I don't know how much more. I can put it in my mouth. No, just kidding. That sounded all kind of, yeah.
Family show, Lee.
I said that. Okay, so that's much better. Awesome.
Oh my God, we're going to have so much fun.
All right.
So much
My
fun.
mic isn't as loud as Sherry's because Sherry likes to turn up her mic
Okay.
because she
How about
thinks-
that? I'm turning it down.
Oh, you can turn me up.
I
Because now
did.
it's
You're
showing.
all the way up.
Oh, okay. Well,
I think.
hopefully.
Yeah, you're all the way up.
Okay, awesome.
I mean, you're not all the way up, but
Yeah. So we had a really interesting
clearly the echo.
yeah. We had a really interesting weekend. It was a beautiful weekend. We finally got to shoot.
You have to stay on that mic.
Oh, well, it's kind of interesting because I can't really look at you. You're going to have to
You're going to have to look at them.
Okay, I guess that's what I'll have to do. Oh, all right.
Oh, wait, there's nobody there.
Oh, well.
Yeah, there are people there. I'm just joking.
All right. Oh, let's
Can you
see.
guys see us? YouTube, can you see us?
Take it off, Lee.
Can you, can you, can you see us?
You should be able to.
Yeah, okay.
Awesome.
There we
Yeah.
go.
Yeah,
There it is.
It should be, if it's real time, which I haven't hit play here.
Oh,
you should be
that's
able
the
to hit that,
problem.
And it'll
All right.
show up live. But you should be able to go on there and do it as long as your volume's down on there.
I'm
so you
cool.
can
Let's
see
yeah, we can just do
Okay,
the other
awesome,
one. Do
awesome.
the other.
Well, it's wonderful that you guys could see
Put
us.
that other thing up so I'm not there. It
Yeah,
is.
that's
Yay.
much better. So we've decided to do this conscious connection cast because a lot of people. I mean, we really get a lot of feedback on. Nobody's really showing the side of things that we show. We wanted to be able to also give you guys us because we do go through the spiritual, the magical, the mystical. We go through the ups and downs, and then we go through this space that everybody seems to get lost in, which is emotional connection. So we wanted to make sure that we came on and just decided just to be ourselves. I mean, I don't think we're never not ourselves, but
Right.
we wanted to give you guys an opportunity to just kind of hang with us and ask questions, and we'll do our best to answer them, and we'll do our best to love you guys through this as much as you love us.
We have some really, really, really amazing guests lined up for this show for in the future. Today we're guestless on purpose so we can talk to you by ourselves. Some really great topics coming up. Some awesome guests. Mainstream guests. Those that work in the spiritual world, those types of things. All about connection and just how everything's connected, and we really focus on the connection to yourself and how everything's connected to that, right? We're going to have some... It was okay.
It kind of...
It wasn't broke. Why'd you fix it?
It wasn't so much that it was broke. It was that I was just trying to get the volume up, so hopefully they can still see us.
I'm going to let him in on the secret, you guys. If you would talk into the microphone and look into the camera and quit moving around, everybody could hear you and see you all at the same time.
Oh, okay. Wow. Okay. Okay, so you guys can see us and you guys can hear us, and hopefully the microphone issue is fixed, because when I hit the button, I don't know what happened, but it seems to have lost you guys, and I want to make
just
sure
put that up there.
just put this up. I'm going to do that. And of course, I cannot hit play, so I can't see any comments going. So it's really kind of crazy, and it keeps going up and down. And
there we go.
Oh, the mic
Somebody's
is better.
there. Okay.
Good. We're just making sure.
Okay, now that you can see us.
It hiccuped for a second,
So again, we're going to take some questions here in a little bit. We're going to do a little preaching first.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, isn't that what they do on podcasts?
Yeah, I thought it went offline for a second. Thank God. Okay, we're back.
Okay, but we are back.
Good.
That's good.
Yep.
So on top of some really cool guests we got going on, some musical guests too, so that'll be fun. That'll be fun, I think. Don't you think?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It'll
I think it'll be a blast.
Yeah. A lot of fun.
Really cool stuff. We are going to be doing this particular... He keeps pushing buttons, y'all.
I want to make sure we're still online. I don't see it refreshing. We just got text.
Will everybody just say hi?
Oh, no, it's working. Okay. All right. Elvis, yeah, it's probably Elvis. Elvis did something to our to our podcast.
Can I have your trackpad, please?
Yes, you most certainly can.
Thank you.
Okay.
Oh, yay.
Yeah, I'm done. Yeah. So, yes, we got some amazing guests coming on. I think what's going to be really beautiful about this is you guys get to see some of the things that our spiritual connection has been able to do. We've had some really beautiful success stories, but at the same time, we've had some stories that seem to be a little bit offset. You put your hands on the top of your head and quit hitting buttons. Oh, yeah, I've done
right.
that already. You mind your business. It was really a lot of fun with the things that we've been able to do, but at the same time, we've seen some really eye-opening experiences because of our connection, and we're hoping to share a lot of that with you guys with this new connection, or conscious connection.
You have to stay in that mic, baby.
Okay, it's really hard because I'm at a really strange angle.
Okay.
I mean, I'm facing this way if I'm on the mic, and the camera's over here.
Okay.
So it's really, yeah. Maybe if I move it, so next time we come around, it'll be easier to just put it here so I'm looking this way.
That's good.
It just feels funny being this way. Yeah, I really wish I could turn my mic up too, because I'm sure you guys can't hear me as
He
well.
can turn it up. Here, let's turn it to his mouth. How about that?
Does that work better?
Much better.
Okay, so it was just at a weird angle.
Yeah, if you just talk right into the mic, they can hear you.
Awesome. Yeah, it's hard to understand Lee, though, through the mic.
How about that?
Okay.
Say that's better. Yeah.
Way better. So that did help. Okay.
Yeah. Maybe if I backed mine up, I wouldn't be a little as loud.
It's all good. It's all good. I love you, baby. But I can't sit there and look at you and stare in your eyes and, let them experience it. I know it's really hard because the angles are here. if I slide over this way.
I'm going to get Lee together,
How's
guys.
Yeah, that's way better. Okay. So go ahead and post some questions. Let's talk. Let's have some fun. We do have, of course, on Patreon, if you're on there and you send a message, we'll go ahead and answer that live, real time.
You guys get first dibs to questions, and we're
Yep.
going to answer your questions first. If you're over on Patreon, we got you. And we got the questions up. We did have them up. I'm about to get them up.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, definitely. That's awesome. Hello, Germany. How are things over there today? I mean, we got some news today that we're quarantined with no date. Like, there's no like date where we're going to start.
Well, not really a quarantine, sort of a lockdown.
A lockdown, yeah, something like that. It's wow, this is really interesting times, and it's really kind of waking a lot of people up to connection, because now they're sitting there in their deepest disconnect because they were told to, and we kind of picking up from that. What are some things that I guess that we're also going to be doing on here?
We're definitely going to talk about over on Patreon. We let some snippets out over the weekend, and we're going to be doing this quite often. We're going to be running a reality show over on Patreon. Some of it's actually going to be live, and some of it will be recorded. And we are going to run you through our lives.
Yeah.
And what we do, and how regular life is in Union. It'll be interesting, right?
Oh, it's definitely going to be
uncensored.
Oh.
Well, I mean, come on now. It's going to be at least somewhat family friendly, but censored that way.
Yeah, I see what you did there.
Yeah.
You can post questions in here. I see the questions are being asked.
You can.
And I think the question is, have you ever experienced past life regression? I guess we could start there. I guess it's hard to. I don't know.
I can speak on that briefly. I don't. Oh man. I don't want to get into a whole lot of religious belief systems, but I know that it's a very believed in subject, and I happen to not. I happen to feel and believe that I have enough of this life regression to have to unfold that I certainly didn't need to bring any from back there. I personally feel that it's the cycles that I attribute to past life regression, the cycles that we carry down from our grandparents and great-grandparents and great-great-great-grandparents. Those cycles are what I personally view as past life regressions. Those cycles, even the smallest cycles, are what I view as that, and having to unravel those cycles.
Yeah, I can see that. You're right. It does come from like almost a transmission of cycles. But the way that we experience past life regression in Union actually gave us a deeper understanding of it. We both have had the dreams where we've gone back and we thought we're going back in time, but what we started to realize is we were accessing parts on the inside that had experienced unrequited or unconditional love. So this is like the entry level into the uns. And what you actually do experience in that space is your DNA path. In other words, you'll experience if you have German in you, you might have experienced yourself in Germany. You might have experienced your twin in Paris, and you guys come together. The energy of what you felt is what you're feeling to make you see it, but it's something in your generational path. It's not something that you're accessing by a former life. You're accessing the energy that was felt during that time through connection. So if you really look at what you're experiencing, you're just experiencing that maybe your ancestry that led to the part from England, it's actually allowing you to experience the energy that was felt during that time. It doesn't mean it was you. It just meant that part of what you're experiencing is already a part of your DNA strand in connection. You accessed that connection for a period of time, and then you fell back into time. Time is the issue. We think that we got a past life and not this life. And we spend so much time focusing on past and future that we don't even pay attention to the present, which is a glimpse of wholeness, which is the truth of who you really are. But you don't show up there to make sense of it. This connection comes along and smacks you right into the present moment, and then you find your path back to it again just to repeat all of the cycles and behaviors and patterns. This is a generational marking point of how you actually break free. You either stay connected to yourself or you don't. And traveling to the past is not staying connected to yourself now. So you have to really look deep at what you're doing when you're looking at what they call past life regression. At least that's what we keep experiencing in this connection. Was that good?
That was awesome.
Oh, okay. So sometimes it's a path to follow, right?
Right.
I want to make sure that I didn't drop too far down. Do we have any questions from Patreon before I continue? I want to make sure that we
not yet, but we've got a few in queue. So as soon as they pop up, I'll let you know.
Oh, well, let's just see. Volume is great. Thanks. Yes, you can post questions here.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Regular life in union will entertain us. Let's do it.
Oh, man. If you guys saw some of that footage. So we put a little bit over on our Instagram page.
Yeah. That was fun.
We were tell them a little bit about what was happening. We decided to venture out, and we did that, and ran an errand, and we came back, and we decided that we were going to tear into our bedroom and tear it all apart and redecorate and put it back together, and we were going to do that together. Was a blast. We had a little too much fun, but we finding things.
That's not funny.
There's no other way to describe it.
If you were on our Facebook, you know what she's laughing about.
Things, just things. We were finding things, oddest things.
Yeah.
What the heck? Where did that come? What are? We were going through things, but another interesting thing, we came across some old letters. We came across some old mementos from our past and things, and we were reading them, and it some of it hasn't been released yet, so we're putting videos together with that footage, and all that reality footage will be on our Patreon channel.
I think what's beautiful about what we were able to do on the day that we spent, because our bedroom is our temple.
Right.
And we really wanted to make sure that we kind of were like, do we want to make it this? Do we want to make it that? Wait a minute, why aren't we making it us? So I think, what they get to see from what we experienced is, you've heard us tell about things that we've been through with each other, but there's another side to all of it. And what we captured when we were doing the videos is you guys actually get to see what it's like when we're together and what kinds of things come and happen in those spaces. So it'll be really cool when that comes out. But again, that's going to be some real-time stuff that we're going to be doing on Patreon, because what's it like living in union is literally, it's still an ongoing process of the connection to yourself. And if the connection to yourself is lacking, don't worry, your union will be too.
Take the next
all right.
one here.
Let's see. The next question is, what healing modality has worked best for you?
Oh, man.
I don't necessarily understand the question.
I think they're speaking of spiritually, if it's Reiki or meditation, prayer. I don't know. I could be completely off.
Yeah, if you could give us kind of give us an idea of what that means, maybe we can come from there, because I want to make sure that we capture that right. But as far as a healing modality, I think I need a little bit more. If you clarify what you're asking, we might be able to give you an answer from that space.
And by the way, this podcast will not only be broadcast right here in the Relationship Reinvented office, but when we travel, when we, if we're able to finish our tour or to start our tour,
No, you don't.
actually. But we'll be out doing live podcasts in your area when we're allowed to do so.
Mm.
So
Yeah, that'll be awesome.
that'll be so much fun.
All right. So I believe you want to make sure that you put down there what healing modality is, and we'll come back to that question.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Is love something to work on continuously? We are going through some very challenging things, and I would tell you it's not really work if you're trying to put love and work in the same space. The work that you're abandoning love, because love doesn't require work; it just requires messiness and accepting of that messiness. So I guess it's a continuous mess. As long as you have a continuous mess and you find each other in it, you'll be fine. It's when you lose each other in that mess that you're not. And that's when I think that's what happens when you have work. I mean, people don't fall in love. We fall in love with each other quite a bit. So we find that there's different ways that we fall in love with each other. The never-ending feeling of falling in love with all the different things you keep learning about each other, because you don't just come together and then expect them to be a certain way. They continue to grow with you. They continue to be a part of you. And I think with us, it's been that way, but we've been fortunate because we are vulnerable with one another. So I think that has a really great part of it, is love isn't something you work on. Love is the vulnerability you have with one another.
I'm looking for this question. Okay.
Okay.
We missed this one. No, it was next.
Is this
okay?
one
It's
here?
next. Yep.
Okay. Question: how do I get my twin to understand how to hold space for me when I'm purging? I was sitting down crying today, and he just gets up and goes for a walk. Feel like I can only depend on myself. Oh, so the question: how do I get my twin to understand how to hold space for me when I'm purging? So when you're purging, is any of it coming across as a personal attack? So I guess we need to find out how that's answered. If you're looking for how you can actually, how do you guys communicate your needs and wants to one another? If that has not been created from your emotions, you probably need to go ahead and create that now. It's a very simple thing you want to say to one another. Do I need to keep certain things inside of myself, or am I allowed to share things with you? And when I do share things with you, are you going to take it personal? That's going to really change a lot of the connection. It's not an easy thing to do, because you're going to expect resistance, and you're going to need those expectations met. So go into it with no expectations. Do you have anything?
I keep trying to follow the green light.
Oh,
green light, go.
This green light is the one I'm paying attention to, because that tells us when we're online and when we're not.
Yeah, but that's the green light we look into.
Yeah, that green light up there is a camera. And you know that when we first started this, I didn't want nothing to do with cameras.
Why?
I had a wound, a childhood wound of being, discriminated against, feeling different. And it's really interesting, even to this day, it's still interesting, because I get people that look at me and go, "You sound white." And I said, "What does white sound like?" And then I hear, "Oh, you don't sound black." And then I'm thinking, what does black sound like? And then I hear, "Where did you go to school?" That makes more sense.
Oh.
Oh,
Okay.
you actually went and got educated, and you can speak. Yeah. It's really strange how that kind of shows up in color, but it's not about color, is it? Yeah, I guess we still have a lot to teach each other in connection. Oh, isn't it though? So yeah, I had that wound. I didn't want to be on camera. Remember we talked about it.
He did fight me
on
that.
I was really I was like, no, nobody's going to accept it, because I didn't feel accepted growing up. So I really struggled with that. And even when you found me, I still struggled with you accepting me, because I wasn't accepting myself yet. Didn't realize that was a thing. Yeah. So
let's finish her question.
Yes.
Or did we finish it? I don't know.
I'm not sure. I was sitting down crying today, and he just gets up. So I didn't know if that was. Am I coming through?
Yeah,
okay?
That's better. Yeah.
Okay. It's weird, because I guess it's just I have to sit lower than I sit higher. You don't have to.
If it comes up, I
see how your twin wants to do everything for you.
I keep fixing it for him.
Thank you.
It's so funny.
Oh, you're so sweet.
It's so funny, though.
I'll never leave you.
No codependence here, folks.
No, you do everything.
None.
You do everything for you. Ooh, yeah, well,
Ooh.
isn't that what that's what your best friend Erica says? Hi, Erica.
Oh, man. Oh, man. Oh.
Come on, that was fun. You hate her.
I don't hate her. She's my arch nemesis.
That's how you guys say love
I
at
love
that
her.
same time. So, just helping you guys out and just some popcorn for later. All right. Knowing my situation doesn't play into my path. You've always been connected to loss, and when loss found you, did you feel love from yourself? I'm wondering if that came through. We'll see. Yeah, is it saying that people are still here?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that
Yeah.
works. Okay.
We have people here.
All right. Follow their Instagram at relationship. Okay, that's awesome. Thank you.
I sent her a message too. There. We got to fix that.
That's-
THEIR.
She's
Look, we have our grandkids as staff. It's fine. You know what I mean?
Hey,
Look, let's go ahead and be all the way real. When I said sound guy, I meant grandson.
you have no idea how wonderful it feels to be able to
did.
put your arms around your grandchildren and your children.
Oh, it's beautiful.
There's this feeling. It's like, because we're so disconnected now, it's like, and even when we hold each other, we're like, is this what we're missing? And this whole world is going to.
I'm going to even touch on that a little bit. I wasn't going to preach, but I'm going to preach now.
Preach, girl.
If you
Preach.
don't think it's connected, if you're one of those people who don't think that it's all connected, you got to think about it really, really, really hard. Think about it in a Mother Nature or Mother Earth sense. And we have really, really pissed Mother Earth off. and she give us many, many, many warnings. She has. But here recently, if you think about what was leading up to this, and I'm not even going to start about getting in a religious or a spiritual battle. This is just my opinion, disclaimer. But things were floods everywhere. Australia was on fire. The whole country was on fire, right? California was on fire, right? Alabama stays underwater. The Virgin Islands stays underwater. Puerto Rico's always flooded. All these floods, volcanoes, flooding, tsunamis, all this stuff happening. And still, here we are, throwing plastic around, throwing cigarette butts out the window, cutting down trees for furniture, all this mess. And believe me, I'm not an activist in any way, shape, or form. I have thrown some trash out the window in my younger days. I'm telling you that I've done it. I'm not going to lie.
Right.
I believe we've all done it.
Absolutely.
We're putting chemicals in our earth. We are, I can go on for every activist, every nonprofit, everything. However, I feel like we have a planet that provides us all of our needs: food, water, medicine, right? Clothing. Really. Here we are continuing to step on it like it's just a piece of dirty ground. And if you don't believe that Mother Earth will do something about this, worse than what she's warning us right now, ask the dinosaurs.
They're extinct.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
There it is.
She will take you out too.
Well, I don't know what to say to her about that.
There it is. That's my sermon. Perhaps I'll do a 5-minute sermon every podcast.
I really strongly believe that's
a 3-minute sermon.
That's a brilliant idea.
Sherry's sermon. Every podcast I'm in. Y'all don't want none.
No. Wow.
You don't.
Okay. So, let's see here. We do have some questions we probably should get to. Oh, good.
That
Okay,
was the Patreon question, by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was.
How is the virus connected?
Oh.
Think about this.
Yeah.
We're all setting down and shutting up. Since we've been setting down, LA's cleared up. Has the fog cleared?
The smog, yeah. The
fog-
smog's
the
gone.
smog's
They said
cleared.
The smog cleared, yeah.
Ooh, the grass is greener.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right?
Yep.
Um,
The price of gas went down because we're not polluting the air.
price of gas is what, 99 cents a gallon
I
here
saw
in the
that.
States?
Yeah. I think the average is 120 something, which
I'm
hasn't
curious
been since
about gas prices overseas. I know we were talking to a client recently, and she was telling us the petrol prices.
Okay.
And I'm curious about those.
Okay.
Post those here.
Yeah. So let's see here. I want to make sure It kind of blows my mind a bit because why would he just walk out on me while I'm obviously hurting and purging? Because he feels helpless. And when he feels helpless, he can't stand next to you. He's got to walk away so he can try to connect back to himself to show back up in connection. So what happens is like when I see her suffering, I actually do find that I used to disconnect from myself to try to help her through it, and it made it worse. But if I stay connected to myself and stay connected to my peace, I can actually sit there and hold her while I stay in peace and not take what she's saying and make it that she's not supposed to share with me what she's feeling. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So I literally I've been the twin that's walked away when she's hurting. I've been the twin that actually does walk away when she's hurting because I would disconnect from myself thinking it was something I did. And until we actually sat and talked about that, that's not what she needs me to do. Without actually coming in and having communication about that, you literally will find that your twin will start pulling away from you because they feel they're the source of why you're not healing, not the source of why you should. And you probably should look at that more clearly. It is the source of why you should. You should have connection. But, when you haven't given us any instruction of how you want us to show up, don't worry, we're going to beat ourselves up, and then we're going to run, and then we're going to find somebody who won't put us in a position where we feel like we got to beat ourselves up. This has been what relationships have been from the beginning. We lost connection to relationship then. We didn't lose relationship. We created relationship to make sense of loss of connection.
That was powerful.
I don't know if it means anything to anyone, though. We'll see.
Yeah.
Consciousness is a very beautiful thing, and we don't have commercials to show it to you, so Sherry, you can probably come up with a commercial, I'm sure, off the top of your head. But we're not going to do that.
We're not going to do that.
We're
This
just going
one.
to chug right through.
We've got some commercials for the regular ones. Yeah, we do.
Okay.
Yeah. Couple little sponsor things coming in that are freaking hilarious. You guys are going to love them. Some giveaways. We are going to be having some sponsors. We got some sponsors sending us some things for giveaways for this podcast that are a blast. I can't wait. I'm super excited. I'm so excited over this podcast. It's going to be so much fun.
We would rather do this.
I want these guests on. I want these guests on now, all of them. This list is incredible, and I'm super excited. And I can't. I'm not supposed to get excited.
Yeah, you gotta slow your roll.
I gotta slow my roll. Excitement.
So we're gonna probably have some really cool guests on here. If there's anybody in the spiritual community you want to hear talk and hear us have a discussion with, definitely drop us a line. Let us know. If you're interested in coming on the channel, let us know. We'll talk about that. There's definitely some ways that we can help heal. We're open to it, and that's kind of what this conscious connection cast is about. We wanted to make sure that we were still giving back, but at the same time, we still want to give back. Your healing matters. Your connection to yourself matters. This is one of those things where finally somebody's telling you the truth. And the truth is, this is messy no matter how you look at it. And it's going to be tough, in certain parts of it. How many synchronicities or things that reminded you of each other when y'all were in separation? Then when reconnecting, were the synchronicities more prominent? That's been my experience so far.
Man, I can I can start. I can start to answer that. You can finish it because um it's different. I believe it. I know it's different for everybody, but it's so annoying sometimes, but then so refreshing on the other because it's almost validation confirmation, right? Which is what I believe those number synchronicities are, and those signs and synchronicities are. Um, I'm telling you, it was just as bad, if maybe not worse, in earlier separations that we had.
Yeah.
That you'll see if you've seen some of our videos. It was Lee everything. I mean, Lee Street, Lee Boulevard, Lee Drive, Lee Avenue, Lee Lane, and then Lee's famous recipe, Lee Nails, Lee Dry Cleaners. It was everything, and it was so annoying because everywhere I looked was his name, and I felt like it was the universe trying to tell me something that I already knew, and I was just getting more and more and more pissed off every time that I would see it, right?
Yeah.
When then we would reconcile, and I would feel relief that they weren't there anymore. And it's funny that in the beginning when they started to show up, I'd be like, "Uh-oh." Right? Oh.
Yeah.
Right? Like, "Oh."
Yeah.
Right?
It happened a lot.
And it was, but then it would get crazy. Like I would come home and be like, "Well, it's like you were with me. I only went to 5 places named Lee." And it was almost like I could go 5 feet and see her. I'm like, I get it.
I think what I love about the word synchronicities is it's actually talking about the gear that turns you into presence. And that's kind of how I see synchronicities now. It's going to be a constant reminder because I remember when when in the earlier days, like you said, I remember like walking across and then feeling myself and then going, oh my God, and then feeling you. And I was like, I must be deeply connected to this woman because every single time I connect to myself, she's there. And I was like, oh. So then when I would see 222, when I would see 333, or I'd see 4444, and now I see 1234. It's so cute, right? 111, 1111. I see it all. But even now, more so when I see it, it's really, I started to realize that it's just a reminder to stay out of time in this connection. So it's almost like it's really trying to help you see that your connection to yourself is trapped in time, when literally you could be free by being present. This connection comes along, makes you present, then all of a sudden all those reminders start showing up where you're not present no more. So how synchronistic is it is more of how connected are you to yourself. So when you're seeing these signs, are you asking the question, am I connected to me in this moment? And if you hear your answer is yes, you may hear your twin's voice. That's going to be a surefire way to make sure that you're staying connected to you, isn't it? But you lose sight of that because you go back in your head, and then you get back stuck into your attachment to time. We're taught that. We're not taught connection. We're taught time. Nobody's questioned that up until this point. And that's why this connection has to stay out of mainstream, because they'd find a way to make us oblivious to connection inside. I'm not sure what the purpose of that is. I think that's what you were preaching about earlier, so I'm not going that path.
That's about to change.
You already heard the word.
We're about to change that.
The word. We need some sound effects. She loves.
Oh, I've got sound effects coming.
I'm sure she does.
Here's what's interesting is I love this first one because it's so fun. They're all going to be fun, probably even more fun. But we got really cool backgrounds coming. We got some stuff already draped behind us. We're not supposed to be showing you, but we doing it anyway. We got some really cool backgrounds coming. We got some awesome sound effects. We're going to have a good time. We got some interesting little guest suggestions I've seen at Eckhart Tolle. And that was one of our, by the way, that was one of our Relationship Reinvented coaches there, Michelle Christie, who was starting trouble by saying that she would love to see you and Eckhart Tolle have a conversation. And Michelle, how long do you think that conversation would last? I mean, there's a hell of a weight loss plan right there. I could say.
well,
those two. Look, I would starve to death.
I think what's happened there is that you guys are in your thoughts about it, where I would be in time with it. So I if it weren't for you, I wouldn't have found him in order to find me.
Right.
It's weird how that worked, but I needed some kind of trajectory because I wasn't connected to myself and I didn't understand what I needed to do and what was causing my biggest disconnect. And my biggest disconnect is the one that everybody has, which is up here. So I had to find somebody to teach me how to come from heart intelligence. So that's why Eckhart Tolle and I seemed to have some kind of, I mean, it was like he pointed me to something and I had to choose it. It wasn't, this microphone's starting to aggravate me.
I don't know why you won't talk into it.
I am talking in
the way you are now.
I love you.
Let's talk about this connection you have with Eckhart Tolle.
The connection I have is he actually was the only person who was out there and has probably been out there this whole time saying your answers are inside of you. Your answers aren't inside of anyone else. And I mean,
we love him. We love him to death. He's awesome.
Absolutely.
He's an awesome guy.
And
I've even seen Matt Kahn's name. Now, let me tell you this. You do not, I promise you, be careful what you wish for, because you do not want to see Lee and Matt Kahn in the same place at the same time. I've seen it. I've witnessed it.
It's two kids playing with the universe.
And I do not want to be a privy to it again.
That'll change your reality real fast.
Look, it's a disaster every time. It's really not. It's beautiful.
Yeah,
it's beautiful.
Some explosions created universes, so some of those are what we're looking for. Do you?
We love you, Matt.
Yeah, Matt. Good to see you. Do you feel the universe is forcing an awakening or self-connection with this virus? The virus has been among us for a very long time. It's the one that you have from thought. It separates you from yourself and really kind of is trying to narrate you away from anything connection, because that's what you were trained to do. But what would happen if you just no longer wanted to be trained to do that and you wanted to connect? You probably find yourself not in your head as much.
If y'all would stay away from your minds as much as you've stayed away from this virus, we'd all be away.
If we were more connected to our planet than each other, I think we wouldn't be here. We don't have a value on connection. We just kind of devalue it. That's why you're afraid to talk to people about it, because, oh my God, I've met this person who makes me connect to myself. Doesn't sound right. We've been on this planet too long. Tell me that's not funny. If you hear it, you'll laugh, because it's the truth. I mean, it's really hard to listen to the truth in that space.
I'm looking for a question here. I think we lost
Well,
it.
I have. Do you use hypnotherapy, Reiki, prayer, journaling, etc. to heal? I believe this was what we were.
Oh yeah, what we were talking about earlier.
Healing modality.
It's interesting. All of the above, I guess.
All of the above are a pathway to consciousness. We stop short of that consciousness because who's doing it? And who's connecting in that way? So the hypnotherapy, the Reiki, the prayer, the journaling, etc. to heal. If you notice, that's what people call work, but they never really talk about the healing they got from it. So it's just work. You already have a job. You were taught to have a job. And now when you see doing something to connect to yourself, you see it as a job. You don't see it as something that you deserve a right to have in the first place. I would almost ask the question so you could hear your own answer is, are you connecting to your heart or your head when you're asking the question? So if you're connecting to the heart and the head at the same time you're asking the question, the healing is going to be found in what doesn't go to your head, not what is going to your head. We just don't give the same energy there. We found that our connection was coming from our hearts, not our head. And we had the choice. And I think we both decided in 2012 we were going to just stay connected in the heart and try to navigate our way through being in the head. And that's the deeper part of why you don't see that in the journey, because that really is something you were supposed to get from watching our vulnerability.
Speaking of the journey,
oh yeah,
let's talk a little bit about that.
Oh yeah.
If you haven't seen our journey on YouTube, it's quite the story. It's in the playlist on the on our channel here. Mm-hmm. And it goes from when Lee and I met to all of the things, not all of them, clearly. I mean, we'd still be recording. Um, that all of the mess and turmoil that we went through, and we were completely vulnerable, and there's a lot of crying, and there's a lot of anger, and you'll get mad at me, and you'll get mad at Lee, and you'll get mad at me again, and it'll be a cycle. And then you'll see us together and wonder what the hell we're doing.
I love some of the comments on there. Oh, this isn't a twin flame story. You two are soulmates. I love it. I love hearing it because it really has everything to do with how they view things, but not how they view themselves. So you will see connection when you see it in yourself first. So if you don't see connection between us, are you connected to you? That would be the way that you want to interpret watching our journey and going, this isn't that kind of, yes, this connection remained in peace the entire time we destroyed each other, as well as ourselves, because that's the path we were already on. And that path has led us to be able to navigate people through their own destruction and own disconnection. So trust that we went through it for that reason. That's our mission. That's the cog in the middle of all of this, is how do you navigate getting out of your head and staying in your heart? Isn't that where true connection came from to begin with?
Well, I don't have the cricket sound effects yet.
We need those. I like crickets. I don't like owls. I don't like owls, but I love crickets. Let's not talk about the owl incident.
I was getting ready to tell him, but that's fine.
No, that's okay. You don't need to.
That's okay.
Nobody still believes me.
I think we've got time for one more, and then we'll talk to him a little bit.
Okay.
And then we'll go. We'll leave with these people, and we'll get them off the hook here.
My SP and I have been on and off for over 8 years. 1 year knowing the TF term. As I work on myself, my SP seems to sink deeper into addiction. How do I learn to forgive and accept the situation as is? Where did you learn to forgive and accept what you've been through first? Because if you're taking the energy and trying to put it in this connection, if you haven't given it to you yet, you'll know what works and what doesn't.
I think you answered that all the way.
I don't know that I answered it as much as I pointed to the answer
all
back inside. That's kind of important. Isn't it important to find the answers inside yourself first? Because you'll believe those more than you. I think we validate the hurt we've been through, but we don't validate the love we want to have. So it's like, when are we going to figure that out? I want to just spend the rest of my life making all my choices from my hurt. We did that. And we saw how far that got us, and but the addictions it created.
I want to answer her question specifically though, real quick.
Okay.
All of the above, we've used all of the above, and we use. It kind of depends on for what. Different. I use different modalities for different. We both do.
Yeah.
We both do. Some things we do together. Some things we do individually.
I noticed my go-to for healing though is consciousness. It's not any of the meditating, the hypnotherapy, the prayer, the journaling. As long as I leave a door open to consciousness, I seem to be healing quite nicely.
The healing's in the connection.
Yeah. I
believe that's our main modality. That's our go-to modality is the connection. If there's conflict in the connection, then there's conflict everywhere else. You know what I mean? We heal the connection, right?
Yeah.
And then all the stuff that surrounds the connection, all the bad stuff, all the words, all that stuff is a symptom.
Yeah. You know what really helped me into finding healing to begin with? You said something very powerful to me. And to this day, to this moment, it has been the most significant thing or the most profound thing that's ever happened in my connection to myself. Is you literally snapped me out of. What you said to me was, Lee, what are they going to do to you? And I said, what? You said, what are they going to do to you if you don't have something? If you're not this, if you're not that? And I was like, what? And you said, what do you think what's it going to do? Change your mind about something? Is it going to make are you going to wake up tomorrow somewhere else? Are you going to, you actually literally, and this was in 2007, before I was trying to, and I believe I was hearing that still, before I even knew that I wasn't needing to be connected to myself. I didn't even know, but that started this journey for me in ways I can't even describe to you. And it was the most beautiful experience ever. If you've never asked yourself, what was the worst that can happen to you if you open up your heart? What's the worst that's going to happen to you? And you know what the worst thing that's going to happen to you is? You're going to heal. I was scared to death of it.
Mm-hmm.
I thought going into the pain and the hurt was gonna destroy me. No, it allowed the real me to show up. It's so profound that nobody's doing it.
Everybody's afraid
Let's
to do it.
not do that. I don't want to let my heart be open, because then people will love me. But I tell you, if it weren't for you doing that, I don't think our mission would have ever started. I don't know what it was. I think, the years that you took to do your work and really deep dive into yourself, the depth that you must have been able to achieve, you should get a ton of credit for, because it brought you out of your sexual abuse trauma. It brought you out of the physical abuse that you experienced throughout your life. You literally allowed me to love you when you literally never had any reason to trust connection. And if our energy and vibration didn't match, I don't think we would be here right now. I know we wouldn't. And the cool thing is I'm not looking to say this is what dictated the past.
Mm-mm.
It's just our love has grown so strong at this point. I can see it so clear. I can say it so clear. And that's what connection's supposed to give you, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. Yes, for sure.
So thank you for Sherry for being my guru.
Wait a minute, you were my guru. Oh no,
our connection. Our connection was our guru. And I think that's what's important, is that you're not looking at your connection as a guru. You're looking at your connection as the other person meets the other half of you. You're whole. Stop being half. You're not half of anything.
Look,
nobody wants to hear that.
We are going to let you guys off the hook.
Oh.
And we are going to be back in not a week from today, but 2 weeks from today. And that may change. That very well may change. And we're also getting some emails from some of you really freaking out that we're not going to be putting YouTube videos out anymore. Fake news. Fake news. We will still be putting out YouTube videos. However, our Patreon members will be getting them first for 48 hours, and then you guys get them. And then, but there will be a lot in Patreon that you won't get to see here on YouTube. We'll be recording videos specifically for our Patreon channel. The reality series will be on our Patreon channel. There will be some other programs on our Patreon channel that's going to blow your mind. I really wasn't going to touch on them, but I'm going to. Awesome guests on this podcast. We're super duper excited.
It's going to be awesome.
We're super excited.
And we are so blessed and so deeply in gratitude for all of you connecting to us, because can you imagine us telling ourselves when we came together that we were going to change the world, and we had no idea what that even meant then?
We couldn't even imagine back then.
No.
We couldn't even.
I think we had dreams, but we were too busy sabotaging our dreams.
Yes, for sure.
And definitely sabotaging what we imagined. I want to answer this one thing. I think you should.
Okay. If you could get talking to
how about
that'd
this?
Be awesome.
Just popped in. Would you say your twin was your biggest teacher and your biggest progression in growth? No.
Uh-uh.
The pain that my twin allowed me to realize that I was already in was my biggest teacher. See, pain is probably one of the most beautiful teachers we have to stay connected, and we all are running from pain. But isn't that how we got here? So we're not running back towards connection, we're running away from it. And, there's something on the inside of you that knows that. It's like I said earlier, and yes, Paulina was right. Stop being half. You got to go find your wholeness, and your wholeness is inside your pain, not away from it. You'll birth something new. That's what pain was there for, right?
Mm-hmm. I have a question I want to answer. There's one. Taylon has a question.
Oh, Taylon. Mm-hmm. So this is a weird question, but can you have a connection with a family member instead of your partner?
I can start that.
Okay.
I am certainly have a connection with all of my family members. I guess the connection is different. In my opinion, the connection is different. I have 4 kids. My connection is different with each one of them individually, right? Then it's different than my connection with you is completely different than my connection with my children, or my connection with my mother, or my connection with my siblings or anybody else. It's a different type of connection, but it's all connected. Does that make sense?
Yep. Absolutely makes sense.
It's all connected. So I don't know if you mean as in like a romantic connection, or what type of connection you mean.
Yeah. And if you want to go
you
further,
have to clear that up.
I think what jumped out at me is the fact that you're asking if you can have a connection. I think that's the part that actually gets to me and makes my heart want to open bigger and say, you're allowed to have all connection. I think what's profound about it is that we live in a world where we're telling ourselves we can't have connection, or we're telling each other that you're not connected. I think that validates why this connection hasn't even grown as big as it should have. And it sucks because once you experience it, I'm telling you, the love that we have here, guys, everybody should have it. It's just not right. Somebody telling you can't have connection, or the fact that you even think you have to ask for it, that was your birthright. You came from connection. Why do you have to get in this world and ask for it? It was yours to begin with. So hopefully, Taylon, I want you to know you never have to ask for connection. You just got to communicate the kind of connection you want, because you're allowed to have it. And I'm sorry that, if it's ever been like you feel like you can have or can't have a connection in certain places, you're connected. You're allowed to expand that connection. Nobody told you you couldn't. We just don't talk about it enough.
Agreed. So, we are going to finally let you guys off the hook 6 minutes later. We are Lee and Sherry Patterson from Relationship Reinvented, and we have an awesome Facebook group, by the way. It's called...
we have awesome coaches and family.
We had... Man, do we. But
awesome
we have
work
group, Twin Flame Work Group by Relationship Reinvented on Facebook. You can find us on Facebook, Twin Flames, Lee and Sherry, Relationship Reinvented. RelationshipReinvented.com. I want to talk just a couple seconds about our coaches. We have amazing coaches. Our coaches coach you back into the connection to yourself if you're looking for that type of work. You can find some of our coaches on our website. We got some other coaches about to go up on our website. Find our coach there. Find one that resonates with you. We have really amazing coaches. Get with them.
Yeah. And if you can get formal introductions, a majority of them are in Relationship Reinvented Facebook group. You can also find them in the support group if you need that. So if you're in a soul connection, or if you're just in a relationship, or if you've stumbled across this channel, which we find a lot of people that way. Even if you're not subscribing, subscribe. If not, That's fine too.
Mm-hmm.
But we want you to find your connection to yourself. So if you found that in us, trust us. We trained our coaches to help you see your connection to yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And they'll be able to definitely help you understand and navigate that, because you will not let anybody connect to you differently than the way you connect to you. And this has been the known myth of why people lose connection.
If you are interested in becoming one of our coaches, get a hold of us.
Yep.
Send us an email at connect@relationshipreinvented.com. Relationship Reinvented, one word. Connect@relationshipreinvented.com. On our website, relationshipreinvented.com. Man, I'm saying that a lot. You'll find information on being a coach. Talks about pricing. You can handle everything there. Email us again, connect@relationshipreinvented.com. We're putting all the information on our Patreon channel here in the comments, and it's also here on our YouTube channel, and right here under this live video. Is that correct, Lee?
Absolutely. Under this live video should be how you find us on Patreon. I did not put the other links up just yet because we're still testing all of the equipment, and of course this is so much fun. I got to talk into a microphone.
I'm so excited about all the little.
I
can't
being
wait
able to hear my own voice. No, I don't.
I can't wait to hear the cue music, and then it goes into music, and it'll be so cool. And then Galaxy Far, Far Away stuff will go over. And
hopefully this connection has been a lot stronger than ones we've used in the past. We're using the OBS software finally, so hopefully it's coming through clear. We need some feedback on that.
We don't even know what that is.
What, the OBS? The OBS? Is that what you're saying?
Truth. We don't know what it is.
Okay, it's software for broadcasting live streams and videos.
We're gonna figure it out.
There's a way to
folks.
bring scenes in and then scenes out. We're gonna have great backgrounds, so we'll even show like videos of us in our home life and what we do. So.
Oh, it's gonna be ugly.
Remember, your pain is found in your transformation.
Oh, for sure. For sure. Thank you, guys. Thanks for all these cool messages. I love those. Those are awesome. Oh, man, it's what we do. I could talk forever. I don't want to leave them, but we got to go.
Well, should we just...
No, it's fine.
Why don't we have some fun, though? Let's ask some silly questions and let Sherry give some silly answers. So what I think
we'll
you
take
guys should...
one silly question. That's all we have time for.
You got to ask a silly question,
No. We have to put a disclaimer on this.
Okay.
Do not take this answer personally. Do not take it seriously. Do not think it's my opinion or my belief.
No.
Look, you ask a dumb question on purpose, you're going to get a dumb answer on purpose and go.
It's fun. It's fun. This is what we used to do as kids. It's how you bring your inner child back out. Don't judge your question, ask. And be expecting of a
it's just going to be
answer.
tragic if somebody comes into this podcast at the very last end and all they hear is me giving this horrible advice and don't give the
you do this in the group to lighten the mood, but to show them how not to take thought so seriously. Oh, here we go. Are twins always the opposite zodiac sign?
No. If you're a twin, you have to be the same zodiac sign.
See? Yes. That is a silly answer.
So, if you're a Libra and your twin is a Gemini, you are in fact not twins.
Interesting. I see how you balance that in between both of you. Libra, Gemini.
Oh, hell, that's not true,
You
guys.
had to be there for that.
That's not true.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. What is your favorite dinosaur, I guess is the question. What is your favorite dinosaur?
Oh, man, that dinosaur shower head that we found in the closet when we were cleaning our bedroom.
This reminds me of the runaway dinosaur. You remember that I was telling you the story about the runaway dinosaur?
I don't know.
About the mom who was trying to teach her son about how she would always love him no matter what. And he said that, and she told him, she asked him he could be anything he wanted to be, and he said he was going to be a T-Rex. And she says, well, if you're a T-Rex, your arms are too small for me to hold you, but don't worry, I'm going to hold you anyway. And it gets really sappy, and you start to cry when you start to hear.
Is it like that one book, I'll Love You Always, or Forever I'll Be, or something?
It's actually a
Hurt
little
your
bit
heart
much more beautiful than that. But it's really, oh, look at this. We got some family in the house.
Oh, man, these two.
Yeah. Hey, what's up,
I
Twinkies?
thought we had security at the door. Our security's our grandkids, but
Well,
they still let them in.
Sandra Allen, welcome. We're so happy you came to see us.
You're right,
thank you for
Melanie.
logging
Thank
in.
God it's not true. Thank God it's not true, because
No.
Lee is indeed a Libra, and I am indeed a Gemini.
I go through.
But I gotta
go
tell him
through-
my favorite dino is
yes.
definitely is the Velociraptor.
Help me. Somebody help me.
Well, it is.
I was hunted. She's right. She
It
is a
is.
velociraptor. She's a pack hunter. She can split herself into two. she, come on.
Yeah.
That
What?
was funny. Well, velociraptors were pack hunters. They always came in groups.
Yeah.
So
They
considering
weren't very big.
as a Gemini, you would have two of you, right?
I see
So
what you
that's
did
two
there.
velociraptors. So you're pack hunting me.
I see
every
what you
chance
did
I
there.
get,
I
yeah.
see what you
Yeah.
did there.
yeah.
Now we're getting snap happy.
All
How
right.
much wood could a woodchuck chuck if a wood could? Blip? That's what you wanted me to do right there. Yep, you got me.
I don't know.
You
Chuck.
got me. You got me. That was slick.
I don't know. Is Chuck a part of what? Ours is not the mama, not the mama. Okay, I see what you did there. That's awesome. That's awesome. We can't wait to have you guys on here. We're gonna have a blast. We're just gonna.
We're never gonna get through that show.
We're gonna talk about the silliness because I think they're used to seeing us all. They need to see us all interact.
We're
I think.
never gonna get through that show.
Oh, that'll be fun though. Because remember how you and Sandra kicked off that one show that you had to kill.
That was Sandra's fault. The whole show.
Sandra, she's not here to
The whole
defend
show.
herself. Sandra, I'm sticking up for you. And when you finally told Sherry what the topic was, did something happen to your connection? Did she hang up on you? Now you know.
No, I hung up on the whole show. The whole radio show was nixed.
So Sherry knows how to end her own
Look,
show.
I tragically butchered a radio show once. Sandra was the catalyst of it.
Oh, well, Sandra was there. Otherwise, Sandra would have unplugged you a second ago. Be like, "Is this for this?"
Look, Sandra said, "What?"
it was Sherry. See, right.
Look at this face. Shit. Never mind.
All right.
Never mind.
So anyway, thank you.
Clearly,
guys so
all the
much.
empaths
This
out
is,
there know that I'm lying.
This is awesome. This show will be available for probably the next couple of days, and then we're going to take it
No,
down.
this show's going to be always available. We're leaving this up. This show's always going to be available on YouTube, but our next show will be a Patreon only show.
Okay, so
Yeah.
next week what's going to happen is we're going to
Week
be
after.
doing Patreon. It's the week after?
Week after.
The week after, so 2 weeks from now, it'll be Patreon. We will probably come on and do like a really short live here, make sure that you guys get updated and kind of see
I'm
how
going
you
to
guys
teach
doing.
Lee how to talk
And
into the microphone.
And then we're going to disappear and go over to Patreon, where it'll be an unlisted YouTube that you won't be able to
Yes.
find.
So we will, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That will happen because we do have some.
We are
some
going to do
really
that on
specific-
occasion, yes.
Yeah, we wanted to be able to bring them people into our connection so they can get help with their connection to themselves and with the other person they're connected to. So this is it.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully this keeps going. So if you guys are interested, Patreon, I believe the link's down below.
All right. Love you guys. And Patreon. This week on Patreon, you guys have some contests coming up. We have a winner of a free session from last week. I got to send that person an email.
Oh.
And I think I'm going to start announcing those live, too.
Yeah.
On Patreon, the winners of things there. And you know what? I have, by the way, if you are watching and you happen to be a subscriber of ours and you got some Twin Flame oil from me, it's been, I don't know who it goes to. Let's
Yeah,
just put that there.
I think what's beautiful about this one versus the other one is we went through the dark night of the soul while this one was brewing.
Yeah.
so
I
we're-
got two packages here. I got some crystals. I got some crystals that are packaged up that need to go out, and I got some oil that need to go out. And they are contest winners. I do know that, but I gotta find the paper on that. But
Yeah.
if you know,
Nah.
refresh my memory, and then I'll remember real quick. Like, all right,
All right.
that is
awesome.
all. So we're out, and we will talk to you guys soon. Patreon, lots of stuff happening there this week.
Patreon, Twin Flame Reality TV.
Fun times.
Coming right there on that channel. So if that's what you're looking for and you need more information, trust us, we'll be there.
Mm-hmm.
You guys have a good night. We'll see you soon.